Hi, good morning, good afternoon, actually, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Italian Vegan. Today, we'll be cooking a couple of simple desserts, Italian. But before we start, as I see there's quite a few new faces today, but I just wanted to make sure that you all know how this works. Before I go any further, can you just confirm that you can hear my voice okay, as I had were some problems last week. So can you, there are two ways that we can interact on Zoom. This is an interactive class, so I expect you to either, you can either unmute yourself and then just speak so we can hear your voice, or you can type in the chat box, and Katrina will read the questions to me, and then I'll reply. So we'll be okay. So apparently you can all hear me okay. So this is the way I say we'll be cooking together. So anything that you're not sure of, please ask a question, and I will cover it as we go along. At the same time, if I'm going too fast and you're missing steps, just ask me. And I will stop and go back to everything that we need to do, because I want you to come out with the same with the same product that I'm cooking, and so we want to make sure that everything is fine. And I just want to say a big thank you as well to those of you that contributed to buy one give one. The impacts that we are doing this week are to help families in Cambodia to basically have access to a simple micro bank account. It's very difficult to for poor families to get access to banking facilities, and this way helps them to manage their finances and even to get some interest on their savings. And that is very important, because one of the things that will keep them from, believe me or not, from selling their children. Often it's just something as simple as that. With the help and the contribution that you've done, we'll be able to give access to a bank account for a month for 10 families. Thank you very much. For those of you who contributed, a big round of applause. And we can now get started with the cooking. So what we'll be doing first, we'll be doing a costata, which is like a pie with kind of a vegan custard and chocolate and pine nuts. I'll go through the ingredients first. I hope that you have all measured the ingredients, and this will save a little bit of time. There's quite a few of them, so let me read them, so at least we make sure that we got everything. So we will need 250 grams of flour. You can use wholemeal flour, whole grain flour. So whether you're using wheat or another type of grain is fine, as long as it's a whole flour. If you are using instead white flour, please use a little bit more. Instead of using 250 grams, use 280 grams. Okay, so 30 grams more of if you're using white flour. 100 grams of cane sugar, 40 ml of sunflower oil, 30 ml of extra virgin olive oil, 80 ml of water, 8 grams of baking powder, and this is it for the for making the dough. And then for the custard, we will need 1.5 tablespoon of what's it called? Cornflour or potato starch. I forgot to get it out actually. Okay, so that's it. 300 ml of milk. I'll be using oat milk, or soya milk is fine. It's fine as well, or any other alternative milk that you want to use. 1 teaspoon of vanilla You can use vanilla in powder, vanilla essence, or you know, if you want, you can use a vanilla stick as well. 3 tablespoons of cane sugar, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, and then the juice of half a lemon, and then we'll need pine nuts and dark chocolate for the finishing off, and a little bit of sugar at the end, just for the top when we take it out of the oven. Okay, so let's start straight away, and let's start making the what's it called? I can't think this morning. Let's start making the dough. Okay, so what we want to do is say you just in a bowl. Okay. We want to show you make the water. This is 80 ml, not a glass. 80 ml of water, and we have 40 ml of sunflower oil. And 30 ml of extra virgin olive oil. You can see a difference in color actually. Have a look. It hasn't mixed yet. You see the olive oil is dark yellow green in color. The sunflower oil is very, it says clear, and the water is even clearer. So these go in, and then we put the cane sugar. Put the cane sugar in. This is my cup of tea. It will be next to me, but it doesn't go in there. Okay. So that goes the cane sugar. I have actually milled this, so there is looks like custard sugar. It's stuck. It's a bit too warm. Let me just take it out. No, we don't want to waste anything. This is like it's a bit muggy today, a bit humid, and you can see the sugar has got stuck to the bowl. Okay, so this is it. So we will just give it a good mix. And then in a minute we will start adding. Make sure this is all mixed in. And then we'll get the flour and we start adding that in. Okay, so we will just need to very quickly sieve the flour.
This is your first.
And this is I'll be using spelt flour. As you can see, it's almost like brown color, which is an ancient grain. I just put a little bit of 50 grams of bread flour in it in the mix. But this is what I'm using. You can use wholemeal flour or any whole flour that you have.
Why did you put bread flour in?
I use bread flour simply to make it a little bit softer because it's quite a hard grain. Okay. Okay, we start mixing it all.
This is the first cake was made, which started in March, April.
It's true. This is the first cake I am demonstrating. Normally, I must say that I'm more of a savory person than having a sweet tooth. So I tend to do more savory dishes. The only sweets that we've done so far are the strawberries. We did strawberries in balsamic vinegar, very nice and very easy as well. Add some more flour. Okay. We won't be putting the oven on yet. We'll do that later. Because at the moment we need to do the dough and then rest it in the fridge for a little while. And as we do the, I think as we start preparing the custard, we can then think about turning the oven on.
Is anybody cooking today?
Yep. How many of you are attempting this live? Can I have a show of hands, please? You can again unmute yourself or just put it in the chat box. As you can see, it's starting to get thicker now. And in a minute, I will stick my hand in there to start getting the dough to work on the dough a little bit. Okay, with this, all the flour go in.
You started making bread as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've also been recently started making our own bread at home, which is really nice. I'll show you an example later of something I did. It's something that's a little bit difficult to demonstrate, as it takes a lot of rising time. So it's kind of like, I don't think you fancy staying online for about 16 hours to wait for bread to rise. So we are now mixing all the flour together. It's getting quite a bit thicker, as you can see. Now, once I put the last ingredients, then I will start mixing with my hands. Okay, this is almost fully incorporated now. Make sure that you get all the flour from the side, so it's all in the dough. Okay, all the flour is in there now. Don't want to leave anything behind. Okay, so now we finish with the last bits, the last two ingredients. So I'll have 10 grams of dark cocoa powder, so unsweetened. Okay, and 8 grams of baking powder. Okay, you can start mixing the dough into a bowl. You can see it's a lot thicker now. It's thickened up, so we are working the dough.
Is there a particular way that you work it?
Not really, not really. I'm not very, as you can see, I'm not very tidy as a cook. I'll just make sure that the all ingredients are in the dough. be quite sticky.
It smells nice.
Yeah, you can smell the chocolate, I suppose. Also, there's a lot of oil in the dough, so. You can see there's a.
I'm trying to get off your hands.
Yeah, start working into a bowl. Rest of it from the bowl.
I remember my sister and I used to lick the bowl when we were kids.
Yes.
My mum used to make cakes and we always wanted the wooden spoon and lick the bowl. It always tasted so much nicer than an ordinary spoon.
It's sticking very much today, more than usual. I think some of it. Can you give me another one? Okay, so now we'll work it into a bowl, and then we will stick it in the fridge to cool down for half an hour. Okay, I need to add a little bit more, so a touch more flour. Okay. Sorry, could you just get me a little bit more flour, then? It's red flour. Red flour on the top.
Which one?
The green one. Just have a spoonful of.
So I just
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's made it a little bit easier to work. Yeah. So you can see it's very sticky, but it's fun. I'll try to get all the flour from my fingers if I can. That would be a difficult job, but I'll get as much as I can. Plain dough. Okay. Okay, now we got nice ball of dough. So we can now some little bit of cling film. I'll be storing this in the fridge. First of all, though, I will clean my hands. So excuse me for a few seconds. Okay, now we get some cling film. There we go. Come on. I don't want to play. Okay. So that's the dough. I just cover it in cling film. I'm going to put it in the fridge for half an hour. Okay, so this is step number 1. Step number 2 now we'll be making the custard. Okay, so I'll just be using pan like this. Put this away. Okay. So again, I've got 300 ml of oat milk. Now, let me just get some okay, let's measure out 1.5 spoons of the corn flour, or you can use potato starch if you don't have time to go to the health shop, but that's a better option. So there we are. 1.5 spoons. Just put a little bit of milk in there, make sure I mix it well. This is for the custard. So make sure you mix all the corn flour so to avoid having any bits in there, and lumps. That's the word.
Lumps.
lumps. So put this on a low heat. Put the milk in there. This cornflour. We'll have half a teaspoon of turmeric.
It's another colour, isn't it?
Exactly. This is mainly to make it look like custard instead of a white thing. Okay, then, sorry, can I?
Yes, sure.
So a little bit of vanilla essence. And then the same as we do for and the sugar. And obviously the sugar.
It's brown sugar.
Yeah. So I've used raw sugar in there. And then as we do for normal custard, so we do stir it until we reach the consistency that we want. In the meantime, I'll start renting honey.
Good storage space, isn't it?
Yes, all the bits that we store in the oven are coming out now. And I'll turn the oven on 180 degrees. Just not fan assisted, just normal. So just need to wash my hands a little bit better. Okay, is everybody following me so far? Any questions? So far, we got any questions? Everybody following along nicely? Can you just confirm? Let me know if everything is okay. Thank you, Deborah. Turn this up a little bit.
Natalia as well.
Turn this up a little bit. Make sure that all the sugar is melting. Make a little bit.
Maria says all good as well.
A little bit of tidiness here, so we can use the next. Okay.
So what sweets did your gran used to make? What puddings?
Oh, my gran used to, again, it wasn't maybe not that many puddings, but she used to make a lot of crostati with, you know, which kind of like fruit pies and fruit tarts. Simply because we had an awful lot of she had an awful lot of fruit in the orchard that they needed using. So She make a lot of that. She'll make what it was called in Italian zuppa inglese, like a bit like trifle, but kind of like a with lots of cream and lots of custard. But it's slightly different. In the Italian version, there is also quite a bit of liqueur as well. So, and there is a kind of a spongy base to it as well.
So it's all pretty curious.
Yeah.
So what was your favourite?
Oh, everything that my grand made was my favorite. They used to make also a kind of like a lot of Madeira cakes that to be used in a variety of ways. But it always ended up with being garnished with some of the lovely jam before we ate it.
You and your dad ate a whole cake between you, didn't you?
Yes, this was my other grandmother. She made this kind of like a Madeira cake with an apple filling, and it was like quite sizable, I would say, about this size. And after dinner once, we had a we had a liter, like a container like this of double cream. So we thought we'd use it. So we whipped it and made some nice a nice bowl of whipped cream. And so we sliced the whole cake, and we had one slice at a time, covered it with apple jam, and finished it with a good layer of whipped cream. And we managed to finish the whole cake in one evening. In the meantime, so while we're waiting for that to thicken up a little bit, I'm getting the chocolate and finishing with the for the garnishing, which is just a bar of dark chocolate, and I will crunch it. You can do it with your hands, but I've got a pesto, so I'm just breaking it into smaller bits.
Swiss chocolate, isn't it? Really,
yeah, really dark, nice and dark Swiss chocolate. You can get the ones that's already in bits in the supermarket for cooking. We had a bar at home, so it's in Italian cooking. There's a lot of, you don't have to be that 100% precise with the ingredients. If you got something that will you can make do, generally we use it. So that's it. I'm happy with that. Maybe a few bits a little bit smaller. So I would say it's a good handful. You just say quantity. You say how much chocolate should I use? Roughly, yeah, a good handful of chocolate. It's enough.
You never go wrong with chocolate.
True. There is somebody here behind the camera that's kind of like a chocolate fanatic. And whenever there's a dessert, it has to be with chocolate. In particular, Caterina is very fond of chocolate fondant.
Oh, it's lovely with ice cream,
yeah?
melting.
With the melting chocolate in the middle and the cold ice cream. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that at the moment. Keep paying some attention to the
custard.
Let's have a look at the custard that started thickening up. We want to have it quite thick because it's going obviously in the cake. And if it's too runny, obviously it will get absorbed by the base, and the base will be a bit not so much as a tart, but more like a Madeira cake. Okay, so just lower it to the minimum and get it to help it thicken up a bit. While I do this, I'll start preparing my lemon. So I'll need the juice of half a lemon, and I can also use some of the peel. So keep an eye on this custard. Generally, the way to see when the custard is thick enough is when you can write your name on it. And it stays on there, it stays on the top instead of just going back in there. So you basically you get spoon. If you can see, Katrina, can you come and have a look very quickly? This is still, I say obviously it's still very, very liquid. So if I try to do this, you can see that it gets absorbed immediately.
Deborah's asking what heat is the oven?
180, Deborah, 180 centigrade. Okay. So at the moment, I would say I couldn't write my name on there, so it's not really thick enough yet. So wait, and I will, as I squeeze the juice of half a lemon.
And what are you doing with the lemon?
Ah, that's a secret. I will add it to the custard once it's ready.
Gives it that tangy flavour.
Yeah. And what I'll do as well, I will actually add some of the some lemon peel, lemon zest. If I can get it out.
Very dangerous with looking with the chocolate.
Don't touch the chocolate. Don't you dare touch the chocolate. You measure it up. Okay, so just a little bit of the peel. Okay. It's getting thicker now. It's not enough to write on yet, though. Just get me a cup of tea. Thank you. As you can see, depending on what sugar you use, your color, the color of the custard will change. Because I've used the Demerara sugar, obviously it's a little bit, the color as you can see is almost like brown. But if you use white sugar, it's going to be a lot lighter, a lot more like the color of custard. Yeah, getting there.
What are the traditional cakes in your grand's village, would you say?
There's in Italy, there's I mean, probably if you've been to Italy, you will notice that each town, each village has got a signature dish, and often also a signature cake or biscuit or sweet anyway. In the village where my dad and grandmother come from, which is called Palestrina, which is just about an hour drive from Rome, they have this famous biscuit, which is in the shape of an iris. So it's just like a dry, very light, dry biscuit. That is very, very. Say it's quite big. It's about this size, but it's very, very, very light and soft. And that's the sweet. As for a savory dish, they do a type of gnocchi without potato, just with water and flour, and just basically they roll it with their hands, so they come to about that length, and then it's cooked with a very rich tomato sauce with meat and sausages. and then it's all mixed. It's all mixed, and it's a very rich dish.
Do you know
So
what about Rome? Do you know what?
Rome has got lots of different dishes, and it's kind of like it's famous for meat heavy dishes like oxtail, pasta made with the sauce from oxtail again, which is something that's a very long process. It takes about 8 to 10 hours to get the sauce ready. So generally they put it on, basically they put the oxtail to cook in a pot of tomato in the morning when they open the restaurants, and it's ready for the evening. They also, I mean, it's not nice thinking about, especially for a vegan, that they do a lot of dishes that are rich in meat, made with the interior of the veal, with the intestine. It's called a pagliata. It's another famous dish of Rome. Also, everybody knows the carbonara sauce, made with, it's funny enough, it's not made with bacon, but it's made with guanciale, which is kind of like the cheek of the pig. A vegetarian dish is pasta alla gricia, which is made just with sorry, no, I'm saying something wrong. Pasta alla gricia is the same as a pasta alla matriciana, which is made with guanciale and egg. But matriciana is made with tomato sauce and guanciale, and pasta alla gricia is made with only guanciale and pecorino cheese. Or there's what you may have heard of cacio e pepe, made with cheese and pepper and nothing else, just cooking water.
What cheese do you use?
We use Parmesan cheese, pecorino cheese. Those are the ones, the main ones I use with pasta. Okay, I know in the south, in Sicily, they use the hard ricotta cheese as well. Not so much in the central and north. We use the soft ricotta cheese there. Okay, come and have a look now. We are. You can see it's thickened up now.
Writing names.
So we can almost write. You see what I mean? Where we write now, you can see the blobs on top of the custard. Have a little taste as well.
How is it?
Nice, very nice.
Lots of flavours in there.
There's a hint of the zest of lemon, and you can taste also the turmeric, and obviously milk and sugar. Okay, so we got quite a nice thickness now. I'll just finish it off for another minute, and then it will be ready. Okay, so we can now, let's check the thickness. Yeah, you can write our name on it. You can make drawings, whatever you want. So the custard is ready. So we turn off the heat, and we add the lemon juice.
It was half a lemon, wasn't it?
Half a lemon, yeah. Now, before, obviously, when the custard cools, it will also thicken up. So always keep that in mind when you're judging the thickness. So to accelerate the process a little bit, I will put some I put some water in here and cool the pan.
put it in the frying pan.
No, that's fine. No, you're right. Actually, one thing.
You're excited about your new frying pan, aren't you?
Yes, it was a present for my birthday. You can see a really nice frying pan. Big posh for me. I'm not used to using such nice cooking appliances. But this is something, actually I've never seen one before, that you can use both on induction hobs, on electric hobs, and on gas as well.
And in the oven.
And in the oven, yes. You can see it's got a detachable handle, so the pan can be placed in the oven, and you can use the handle to put it in and out.
Any question?
So, any questions so far? I want to know how many of you are, okay, I haven't had an answer to that question before. How many of you are actually cooking this with me?
Nobody today.
Nobody today. Oh, gosh, I'm disappointed. Okay, you can see.
Joss is cooking with you.
Oh, excellent. So at least we've got somebody that's cooking.
Joss.
Joss. Well done, Joss. Okay. Let's see now.
Just go back and see.
Yeah.
It's picking up.
Yeah, as you can see, it's quite a lot thicker now. Oh, you can really taste the lemon as well now. It's not overpowering. I mean, obviously we're not cooking a lemon tart, but it's just a nice. You give it a nice zingy taste to it. Okay, so now this is the crucial test, the temperature test. So it's cooling down now. It's not. It's just warm. Yeah, it's not hot anymore. I will we'll cool it down a little bit longer. I'll just change the water. The pan is still a bit hot. Okay, so we finished cooling it down, and I'll clear the space because we can do our thing in here. We can prepare. We can do the dough. Dry nicely. A little bit of flour. Make sure that the dough doesn't stick. And we'll also get the cake tin. Cake tin. What I'll do, I'll just oil it gently the piece of paper. I'll do the same with the sides. Okay.
And what size cake tin?
This is about a 20 centimeter cake tin. Those are ingredients for that kind of, for that size. So it's about, I suppose, in inches is 8 inches. Okay, so this is ready. I'll go and get the dough. Don't you dare touch it, that's the chocolate. Okay, we got rolling pin. This is the dough that you can see now has become quite a bit harder than it was before. We can play around with it like a ball. Okay, what we want to do now, we want to reserve some of the dough for the top of the cake. So about one third of the dough I will cut out and reserve. So not that much. Okay. Investigate the chocolate, and the rest we can roll for the base. So we'll make it back into a bowl. We can start. We want to roll it to about half a centimeter. So about a little bit more than how much is half a centimeter? It's a bit less than a quarter of an inch. I've got a hole there. Like that. Okay. Trying to lift it. I just line. I say I have got more than I need here, so I will be cutting some out. But obviously, you want to make sure that you got some border as well. And if you have any holes, just plug them with another bit of dough. It's a bit too much here. So if you got any bits that they are particularly thick, just remove some of the dough. And at the moment, it's quite easy to work as well. So there are bits that got less, like here, there's got a bit less of a border. Just add another piece of dough. Okay. Okay. So first bit done. We have lined our cake tin. Okay, number one. Number two, now we will possibly use another spoon. Okay, now we can place, as you can see how thick the custard is now. Now it's cooled down. So we can just place it. Inside. Okay, that looks nice. A little bit of custard. Okay. Now get the other ingredients. So obviously we got the chocolate. And let me get this out. Oops. So this is the dough for later. So take our pine nuts. A generous handful. So how much are there in here? You can see how many. I think it's about 100 grams. But can you just check? So I'm using about half of it.
£100.
100 grams. So I'm using about 50 grams roughly of pine nuts. Make sure that they are well distributed everywhere. I'll do the same with the chocolate. No, you're not having any. There you are, on there.
Thank you. Actually, stole 3 bits way around the room.
Thief. It's all on camera. Okay. All the chocolate that you have goes in. And now we want to do some decorative bands at the top. So what we do, so we need about 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll divide the dough into 4 pieces, so 4 little balls. Okay, so once a time, we'll have a nice sausage. Might need a little bit more flour. Where is the flour? Okay, here we go. Nice sausage. Now we flatten. Okay. This one. Now the sausage.
How is Josh doing?
Hi Jose, how are you doing? Are you? I mean, a lot of you would probably be better than me at doing cakes anyway. So they're generally not my specialty. But this is easy to make. It's fun, and I'm doing this far too long. So let's put this in.
Good to do something different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Joss says, great, thank you. Looking forward to trying it.
Okay, it's a bit. Number 3. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having some as well.
Eating it.
With a nice cup of tea later. The one thing I must warn you about it as well, though, is that I won't be able to taste it in front of you because it's very hot as it comes out of the oven, and it needs to cool down, and also, obviously, being hot, the custard will be very runny. So we have to wait for the custard to cool down and to get more solid. Okay, so let me put these at the center. I might use some of those bits to put some extra at the side. Okay. Number 4. This is a bit too thick. Okay, I might do another little bit on this side, as I got some spare dough, which I don't want to waste. I actually do a mini tart for that spare dough.
The camera woman.
I'm dying to dive into that chocolate. I'll put another little bit here. Okay, so we are ready now to put this in the oven. So can you just please time me? So it should take about 40-45 minutes in the oven at 180 degrees. Okay, that goes in. Let's see how much of this I've got left and what we can do with it.
Sorry, I'm timing. Sorry, got my hands.
Yeah, can you put please the timer rather than on 45? Yeah. For 45 minutes, and I will see. We'll have a look at it as it's nearing that time.
There we go.
So I've got one little bowl of dough left. Let me see if I got any custard that I can put in it. Do a mini custard tart.
Scrape it from the pan.
Yeah, I will do actually. There you go.
Good idea.
We do a mini. Tart. I'm sure we can scrape some of the custard.
It's a spatula you can use.
Just about enough custard there for the mini tart. I really would need to put it into a form, but it's kind of like a last minute thought. There we are. Mini custard tart. Is it for you? You want some chocolate in it?
Okay.
So I'll go and get some chocolate from the fridge. And some pine nuts, yeah? Without pine nuts, okay. Without pine nuts. This is the order, what the doctor ordered. And with generous amounts of chocolate on top. I think that would be enough. There we are. So, mini tart. Excuse the noise. Great. And in it goes. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll wash this and we'll get preparing the peaches in white wine. Okay, just I actually need to taste the custard again just to make sure they came out okay. Very nice. Okay. Now, this is now to cook the peaches. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is the cutting board. Do you know this in the cutting board?
It's not, you've got the bread on top of it.
Ah, okay. Okay, what we need to do, first of all, we need to get 100 ml of water. So that you see how much it is, it's not a lot. Okay, so we need 100 ml of water. And where is the other ingredients that prepared?
He says, I may have to leave before you finish today. Okay, Hilary says, I may have to leave before you finish today. I will catch up later. Apologies for not attending last week, but I was unable to.
That's fine. That's fine. You're forgiven.
Thank you for coming this week.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for being here, for following up. And we'll get going with this one. Okay. I've prepared the sugar. I think it's, I don't know where it's gone. But
Hilary says, thank you. You're very good to do these sessions.
oh, thank you very much, Hilary. It's a pleasure, honestly. It's a real pleasure. my
I think it's on the chopping board again.
Oh, could you get it, please?
Oops, sorry.
Okay, so that's what I was looking for. I need to lie for this. Okay, so what we need, we put the water in the pan, and I get three tablespoons of raw cane sugar. Okay. And I'll get that going on a very low heat. Okay. While I get that going, I will cut the peaches. Now, I'm using nectarines, so we don't need to peel these. But if you're using the normal peaches, the fairy ones, obviously you need to peel them first. So, yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's very hard. Okay, I need to more. Anyway, I'll cut it in quarters if I can get the stone off. That is. Where is the my sugar is stirred. Just want to make sure it's all melting okay. These peaches are really very hard. I'm struggling to get them off the stone. So I had to cut them a bit smaller. Okay, and this one is done. Let's see if I'm lucky with this one. And this one is hard as well. Okay, that will teach me for getting peaches the same day from the supermarket. Okay. Anyway, we'll get this one way or another. Okay, I'm using 6 peaches. This is like for four people. Obviously, if you are doing it for yourself or for 2 people, just you can adjust the quantities accordingly. So I'm using 6 peaches, and I put 40 grams again, about 3 tablespoons. Oops, sorry, that will go in the bin. 3 tablespoons of demerara sugar and 100 ml of water. Again, I will need to cut these a bit smaller because I can't get them off. Okay, I'm halfway through. This is a bit of a hard work, yeah, more than I had anticipated. Doesn't matter. This will be better. Cut them in 8 rather than in 4s. the last bit because I got more brick will be to be cut. Okay, last 2 peaches left. She's really quite hard. Okay. I'm telling you to do like an easy and quick dessert. Generally, you would wait for the peaches to be a little bit softer. Oops. But it will work anyway because the sugar, obviously, in cooking them, water and sugar would soften them up. Okay, so just the last peach. See if I can get this start in a slightly different way. Okay, it's a bit better. Basically cutting a little bit really like an apple. Normally, when you cut them, then they just fall off the stone, and they'll be softer, but not in this case. Okay, it's all done now. So now I've cut them all in 8s really. So put them all in, and I will cook them in there for about 5 minutes. Obviously, we got sugar, and also in a minute I will add a cinnamon stick. Okay, these are in. I'll get the ones to throw away. Excuse me, just a second. Okay, so I get my cinnamon stick. So just put it in as is. And just make sure that the peaches are all nice and coated with the liquid. Okay, and I'll let them go. Just raise the heat a little bit. I want to bring the water to the boil. Okay, and I will be at the top.
Oh, it's some sort of your pie. I was just going to get that to the lid.
Yeah, just get the lid. So we'll keep this going for a little while. In the meantime, we can measure up the wine. I'll be using Soya, just a dry white wine. You can use either white or red wine. I find that white is more delicate and red is stronger. It's got a lot stronger flavor. In this case, I prefer using white wine. The only thing you got to make sure of is that whether you use white or red, it's very dry. Okay, but we need a dry wine. So for this quantity of peaches, I will need 400 ml of wine, which is pretty much half the bottle. Okay, that's 400 ml. A little bit more. Yeah, it just has nothing really much to say at the moment. It just peaches there cooking. So this is fairly quick. Once the peaches are softened up, we'll add the wine and cook it for another couple of minutes, and then this goes it cools down and it goes in the fridge. And it's served nice and cold. So it's a very quick dessert, but it's really lovely, especially with the with the nice peaches we get in summer. You can put this away. In the meantime, how are we doing with the cake, Katerina? Timing? I can start smelling it, so it's start cooking nicely.
The little tart will be ready before.
Little tart will be ready soon, yes.
Right now, 27 minutes.
Okay. The little tart is cooking nicely, although it's flattened out now, rather than a tart, it's just like like a mini pizza. Really would have needed to put like a little shape. But
Still tastes nice.
yeah, it tastes nice anyway. It just it would have been too complicated to go and source and find out where the little vanities are. Is now boiling. So we'll give it another few minutes. Yeah. As you can see, the water. See the water is boiling now. And obviously, when the peaches are cooking, they're also a lot of the liquid will come out of them. I'll cut some there out. Yeah, I didn't cut before. So next week, I was thinking of when doing kind of like that a lot of you would have tasted the aubergines alla parmigiana. I would do like a vegan version of it, and also do some stuffed aubergines, so we can cook them at the same time in the oven. It's one of the dishes actually that I remember more fondly from my grandmother. Melanzane alla parmigiana were like the stuff of legend. and I must say, even for a boy to love the texture and the taste of melanzane is not normal. But it was just like too nice. Absolutely delicious. Let's see if we can start tasting the cinnamon as well. So we keep them going for another 2 or 3 minutes before adding the wine. I'll start taking the off. Any questions? Any questions so far? Anything that I can clear out for you while we're waiting for this to cook? No, I must be.
Show the bread.
Oh yeah, let me get the bread so I can give you an idea of what the Italian bread looks like. This is obviously well into. It's almost at the end. We made it on, what was that? Wednesday, Thursday, and it lasts about a week. This is white bread made with strong bread flour, and it's made with what is called mother yeast. So we keep the yeast in the fridge, and every few days we will feed it, and and then it grows, and you use part of it to then bake the bread. This is once you prepare the dough, then you leave it in a warm place for about 12 hours. Then you work on your shape, and you leave it to rest for another 4 hours before baking. Baking takes about 40 minutes. But it's lovely because it's so nice. The outside is crusty, and the middle is very spongy. So this is what we really like in Italy. And this is what we use, for example, for bruschette. So it's really nice and crunchy on the outside, but still soft in the middle. Okay, so this is another bit. I mean, if any of you want to know how to cook this, we can do something about it as well. Okay, so there is not much to show on the bread preparation. It's mostly what you do before you prepare it.
Do it in stages.
But we can,
one week, you do
yeah.
one bit, and then do the next stage the following week.
That's true. Maybe I can show you the stages that we go through to have the bread ready. Okay, so let's have another look.
The bread would be good, Sue saying to everyone.
The bread will be good. Excellent. Okay, and it's actually very easy. I mean, you only need flour, yeast, a little bit of honey, salt, and water. You know, so
Lots of love.
yeah, and lots of love and lots of waiting time. I know that you need to think about it the day before. You know, if you want the bread to be ready the day after, so you start preparing it, let's say in the evening, but then you can let it to rise overnight, and then you work it again in the morning, and at lunchtime you bake it.
Maria says she loves Italian bread.
I know I do too, and that's one of the things that I miss the most here in the UK. Very difficult to get proper Italian country bread like the one I just showed you. So that's why, you know, during lockdown, I thought, well, a friend gave us some of the starter, the yeast. So I thought, well, yeah, why don't we actually start cooking some? And I haven't really stopped. So now I'm experimenting with different types of flours. So that's why today I cooked with spelt flour, because it's one of the ones that I'm experimenting with. So last time we did half white flour, half spelt. And next I will experiment to do a completely gluten-free one.
Maria says she misses the Italian bread.
Mm. I understand that, Maria.
I'm trying to
Me
get
too.
bubbles bigger on the bread.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the right combination so we can get the really nice air bubbles in the middle.
It's a race between you and your friend. You can achieve.
Yeah, exactly. So we're trying. We both with myself and my friend. We're trying to different combinations to see if we can produce a better air bubble. Okay, this is nice. I would like to add a little bit of sugar to that. I put 3 tablespoons. I think I'll add another half tablespoon because it's still a little bit. It will be a little bit sweeter, as the wine will be a bit sharp. So I'll have another half a tablespoon. And the peaches are almost done. I mean, these were very hard when I put them in, so it's taking a lot longer than usual. Usually, I would expect the peaches to be ready in 5 minutes. When they are kind of like nice and bright, is because I started with peaches that are not ripe yet. So it will take about 10 minutes in total. They softened up a little now, so I'll just let them cook for another couple of minutes, and then we'll add the wine. Okay. And I can start at the moment. I can. So was cooking? Jazz. Okay. As you're probably smelling by now, you can. Joss. By now, I think the smell of the cake should be started to waft out of the oven.
Is it ready?
How long? We can try taking it out if you want. Yeah, it looks
17 minutes left.
I think it looks ready. This is too ready. Because it's on the top, exactly. Burn slightly. That you can have.
Oh. That looks really nice.
So let's see how long you can wait before you pack in.
Looks like a smiley, Maria says.
It does, doesn't it? And as I actually started working about with the oven, let me turn the cake, because the back of my oven always cooks more than the front. Okay. So I'll turn it around for the last 15 minutes. And okay. Peaches are smelling really nice, and we can really, the cinnamon is coming through as well. Look at this. You can see them by the way they glow almost. They're almost ready. You see that? The taste one, Katrina?
It's got soft, isn't it?
Mm. Very hot. Okay. Yeah, you ready? Another minute?
Another minute. You can taste the cinnamon coming through it as
Yeah.
well. It's really nice.
So 1 minute longer. So what we'll do, we put everything in with the wine. We'll bring back the wine, once we put the wine to the boil, and we'll just cook it for about 1 minute once it starts boiling. Then we turn it off, and it really needs to be cooled down and put in the fridge. And it will keep for a few days as well. So you don't need to eat it all at once. Okay, if you made, let's say, the full portion and just yourself, then don't worry, because it lasts a little while in the fridge.
The new people you want to talk about Genius Food, if they can access them.
Yes, if there are some of you that are here for the first time, what we're doing, we're putting all the videos and all the recipes on a site. There's got a library. The site is called Genius U. And what I'll do later, I will send you all an email with the link, so you can access both the video and the recipe card. So that if you want to do it in your own time, you don't need to go through the whole video. You can just pull out, print the recipe, and just follow that. By being here, you already have an idea of what you need to do. So you just need reminding and following the steps. To cook it.
We're still working through some of the.
Yeah, what I've done, I just started this recently. So every week I'm putting always the new video and the new recipe, and slowly started working backwards through the old videos and recipe and putting those on. Okay, so it will take me a while, because it's quite time intensive to do that. But I'll soon have all the recipes and the videos on there. Okay, I would say that these are now nice and ready. Yeah. Taste each. That one taste each.
Okay.
Yes, they're nice and soft now. Yeah. coming your way. Yeah, okay. So what we'll do now, we'll put the wine. And I'll turn the heat up. Basically, we just have to give it a good mix, and we just have to bring it to the boil. So
So basically, if your peaches are hard, you just have to cook for longer. If they're not, then you do it less.
yes, basically, you want to cook the peaches until they have, they absorbed the sugar. They put out some of the juices, and they have softened up, and then you add the wine. And also you want some of the cinnamon as well, so cinnamon flavor to come through. Very nice. So you cover that. And what we want to do now, as I said, wait for the wine to start boiling, and then letting it go for about 1 or 2 minutes, and we turn it off.
It's a bit hot, but is it worth tasting?
Yeah, of course it is. It's always worth tasting. I just cut out the bit that's a little bit burnt. Don't want to do that. I like it. Yeah, add it to our little taste.
You're the cook. You need
Little
to
corner.
taste it.
There you go.
You just have it. Nice and crunchy. Nice.
Nice. Could have been a few more minutes, but have a taste. I'll give our 18-year-old now.
That's really good. It's really hard to achieve that.
For those of you that have seen Francesco before, he's now no longer a 17-year-old, a ravenous 17-year-old. He's now a ravenous 18-year-old. So at the end of July, he's turned 18, and now he'll soon be off to uni, off to sunny Leeds. So any of you from Leeds or from Yorkshire? I think we're still waiting to hear from the university if they're going to open or not in September. But I think we'll be heading up to Leeds at the end of September to make sure he settles in all right. Okay. Okay, it's starting to boil now. Don't know if you want to come and have a quick look.
Yeah.
You can see the wine is boiling now. And always remember that before serving, obviously, remove the cinnamon stick.
Sorry, I've got my mouth full with the other bit.
Carol says.
Sorry, Yorkshire born, but don't live there now.
Oh, okay. So we move to the south, Carol? So it's we've been to see Leeds a couple of times when on a visit, when we were on visit day to the university. It looks like a really nice town, and
Shropshire.
lots and lots of
I would say Shropshire.
Shropshire, very nice. There's lots of students in Leeds. It's very much student town.
Which is empty in the summer because
Yeah.
they all go home.
It empties in the summer when the universities are off.
Sue says Yorkshire.
Oh, another one from Yorkshire. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so pretty much the peaches are ready. All we need to do, we turn the heat off, And we just need to let them cool down. I can do what I did before. As we cool them down in cool water. Bit artificially. How much time is left
8
on
minutes.
the 8 minutes? Check. This is almost, I can see it's almost done. So you just want to cool it down enough to be placed in the fridge, and then you want to serve it in a nice wine glass. That's the best. What I'll do is that obviously now we don't have time to put it in the fridge and wait for it to cool down. So I will place it in a glass for you to have a look. Obviously, what will happen with the wine as well, cooling down, it will thicken slightly. So that's the effect you have when you when they're nice and cool. And there is obviously there is a little bit of the taste of wine as well. There is the sweetness of the peaches or the sugar, and it ends up in a sort of almost like a sangria. But most of the alcohol will have evaporated when we brought it to the boil. You can see the water is hot now, so we'll change that. Carry on cooling. So hot. Obviously, there's still quite a bit of liquid in there, so it will take a little while to cook to cool. Okay, I'll let that cool down. I'll make a little bit of room for the sugar. I prepared the other. I got some custard sugar here for the top of the cake. Well, we got 5 minutes left.
Another 6.
Another 6. So this is almost ready. We'll check. Okay, can be another 5 minutes. Okay, so it looks like pretty much they're going to be ready. Pretty much ready to be served at the same time. So this is cooling down nicely. I'll change the water again, I think, and this will be nice and just step it. Still warm, but not, as you can see, it's not scorching hot anymore. Come and have a look and see how the liquid is colored up as well. You can see this nice rich. It's taking the color of the peaches. So it's almost like it's looking like kind of like a rosé one, you know, rather than white. And the peaches are looking nice and ripe and juicy. You see that? So I'm quite comfortable with putting some in a glass to show you.
Deborah says the peaches are beautiful.
They really are lovely. And I must say they taste fantastic. And the actual juice and the wine taste absolutely divine. As I say, this is kind of a very easy dessert to make. But it's really nice, and you can keep it in the fridge for a few days.
And do you eat that on its own? How would you eat it?
I personally like eating this on its own, but you can add a bit of vanilla ice cream as well on top. It's down to taste, really. How many minutes?
3.
3 more minutes, and the cake will be done.
Chat.
Okay.
Peaches, and Deborah says, I want to be your taste tester.
Ah, yes. Come along, Deborah. Okay. As you can see, it's still warm as the glass is steaming up. So this is how you want to serve them. They got to have a generous amount of liquid in there as well.
So basically, you eat the peaches and then you drink the liquid.
Yeah, exactly. You eat them with a spoon.
Or fork.
With a fork or a spoon,
Yeah.
whatever, and then the lovely liquid as well is left.
Nice.
Nice. Obviously, if you're using ice cream, make sure that there is a little bit less liquid, so you don't want the ice cream to just completely float around. Exactly. So just leave it resting on a few peaches on the top. So this is the peaches. A bit of wine on my fingers.
Got 1 minute and 27 seconds left.
Okay, so let's see. That looks very rich. Looks very rich. You'll find out in a few seconds. Make some room. Right, that one gloves. Tell me when I'm ready to go.
We're counting.
Counting. So we're down to less than 1 minute now.
We're about 40 seconds left.
Okay.
You could take it out a few seconds before because I took a few seconds for me
Okay.
to set up the timer.
We decided that we're taking an executive decision and turn the oven off. And take the cake out now.
Cancel that.
Voila.
Oh,
Yeah.
that looks delicious.
Now the last finishing touch. Top it. We just basically some custard sugar.
Deborah says, oh, yum. You hear that?
Yeah, Deborah, I'm feeling exactly the same. I can't wait to tuck into it, but I need to wait for that to cool down. Because otherwise it just too, the custard is just too liquid. Once it's cool, it will be a lot more
Oh, low battery.
structured. It's fine with plenty of time. Okay, so this is it.
Okay.
That's the finished product. If you wait a second, I will take out this side if I can do it safely.
Maria says, looks amazing.
We'll see, Maria. A bit difficult to take out with the gloves. Aha. managed to do it.
Ta-da!
Voila.
There we go. There's the tart. Can't
Really
wait
nice.
to try this, Sue says.
Yeah. It looks just lovely. So this will probably be ready to try in about 15 minutes. Okay, so anybody would like to try these peaches with me? I need to have a bit, although they are nice, they are nice and cold, but I need to have at least one. Katerina, would you like to?
Carol says definitely going to make this and the peaches.
Just to come and try one, Katerina?
Try. Yeah. Let's go. Can't see you very well. Try one.
Mm.
Get one.
Yeah, you need to spear it.
Mm.
Lovely, aren't they?
Very flavoured. Oh my goodness, you can taste everything, can't you?
Mm.
Really, really nice.
Quite nice, and you need the dry wine, because you need the sharpness of a dry wine, and then it mixes well with the sweetness of the peaches and the sugar. Oh, lovely. So that can go in the fridge, and we can be enjoying it later on this evening. Just before we go, are there any questions? Anything that you want me to go through again? Let me know before I leave, or otherwise we'll say goodbye, and I will set the appointment for next week. Anything?
Nothing's coming through, so let's just say goodbye.
Okay,
Oh,
let's say.
can we come to dinner? Carol says, and then no questions, but thank you from Deborah.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Thank you, Carol.
You can come to dinner.
Yes, you can all come to dinner once. We can organise a big Italian vegan dinner.
Maria
Why
says
not?
thank you.
Thank you, Maria, as well. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming on and taking part. It's always a pleasure to share. This is more like, it's not so much sharing recipes, more like sharing a way of life. Because it's like eating is such a big part of my life and my childhood, that I feel like I'm telling your story rather than just showing you how to cook something.
And Sue says thank you too.
Thank you very much, Sue. As I remember, next week then we'll
Catherine
be doing.
as well says thank you.
We'll be doing stuffed aubergines and vegan aubergine alla parmigiana. Okay, melanzane alla parmigiana. Actually, let's call it as it is in Italian. Okay, so thank you very much again, and see you all next week. The same time, same place, same time.